Hi. So let's do something fun. I always start out with so, don't I? Okay, whatever. Let's do something fun. When you go travel, one of the things that I think we all do, and you can't help yourself, is you compare what you're used to, where you're from, with what you're experiencing in the new place. And it's not always, like a bashing or a whining. They do it this way. They're not doing it right. We do it like this. It's not that. It's just interesting to see, in the different cultures and different places, what people are accustomed to that's different than what you're accustomed to. That's part of the fun of it, right? So I wanted to do something that I'm going to call These Things Are a Thing in France. Okay. So these things are a thing in France. I think I have about 10 things. So let's just jump into it. I was in France for 90 days. And in those 90 days, I was in Paris. And then I spent the majority of my time in the south of France, Montpellier, Nice, Cagnes-sur-Mer, which is a suburb of Nice, um, Sète. Uh, ooh, I should have written them down. Oh my God, Antibes. And maybe that's it. I should have written it down. I need to make a list of where I've been. I'll ask Google. Google knows. I let Google keep track of where I'm going. Anyway, these things are a thing in France. So let's start with number one, recycling. One of the things that I noticed across France is that they are really making an effort to save the planet. If you go to a grocery store, most places you have to bring your own bags. They're not handing out plastic bags. Now you can purchase one. They have these recyclable, reusable bags that you can purchase, or most people bring their own bags. And they're those recyclable bags with the sturdy handles, maybe about nice size. You can pull it up on your shoulder, just carry it with your hands. So you're not going to be getting bags in the grocery store. And if you do, you have to pay for them. So there's that. The straws in and plasticware, utensils in restaurants. So they don't serve drinks with straws in them. And the places that do, like maybe a smoothie place, they give you paper straws. Also, the utensils are not plastic, they're wooden. They're these thin wooden sporks. It's kind of hard to eat a salad with those things because the prongs aren't that pointy. So it can be a challenge eating with those things, but they're not plastic. They're wooden. What else with the recycling? Oh, bins outside of like apartments, condos, where people throw their trash. What I've often found was there's a thing for trash, and then you've got your thing for paper recycling, and then you've got like glass recycling. So you've got they're making a conscious effort, like people, help yourself. You're taking your trash out, put the garbage, trash, food waste, and stuff like that in this bin, and then this bin put your paper and the plastic, and this bin put your glass. You can also find some distinction between the trash and other recyclables when you're walking along some of these public places, like downtown Nice. Some of the trash cans had dividers where this is where you put the garbage, and then over here you put the recyclable things. So they're making an effort. I feel bad. We're not. The U.S. is. I mean, we just waste, throw stuff away. Plastic here, plastic there, plastic coming out of our ears. Here's a plastic utensil. Here's a plastic bag. Here's plastic this, plastic that, and we're not blinking about it. We talk about it, but the whole country making an effort towards recycling and saving the planet is impressive to me. And it wouldn't be happening, in all these different establishments if the government wasn't taking a stand and doing something, making it mandatory, but making that something that they're trying to make a difference in. So yeah, recycling in France. That was long. Let's see, number two. I think I had posted about this some time ago, but people are resilient as far as the weather. They will sit outside at a cafe in the cold, at 30 degrees outside, and they're sitting at a little cafe, maybe having a smoke or having a coffee, chit-chatting with their friends, watching people walk by. I've lived most of my life in the suburbs, so I haven't been in places that were more walkable. So maybe if you live in a city, maybe this is something that you're used to seeing, but I'm not used to seeing it. If it's cold, people are not sitting outside. The restaurants don't even bother to put the tables and chairs and stuff out for people to sit on, because Americans, at least in the areas I've been in, they're not sitting outside when it's 30 degrees. You can blow smoke. They're not sitting outside. But yeah, they're out and about. They're sitting outside. They're walking wherever they're going. Yeah, I found that interesting. So cold weather doesn't stop them from sitting outside and gathering at social places. Masks and everything. They're out there in the cold. Let's see. So that was number two. Number three, I mentioned it a little bit. Smokers. People smoke. There are some places that allow people to smoke inside, and it can be annoying if you're not a smoker. And it's weird, being out and smelling smoke, like is something burning or somebody's smoking, and turn your face, and then this person at the table next to you is just puffing away. Cigarettes, cigars, the electronic, the e-cigs, all over the place. People are smoking like crazy. No thing. So, smoking's a big deal here. If you're not used to it, be aware. You be sitting outside and somebody next to you is just puffing and the smoke's coming your way. There are a lot of smokers in France. So that's a thing. These things are a thing in France. Let's see. So that was number three. Number four, let's talk about dogs. The French love their dogs. You see dogs all over. People walking their dogs. And all kinds of dogs. I've seen pit bulls. I've seen cocker spaniels, like my dogs. I've seen little frou-frou, little purse dogs, beagles, German shepherds, all kinds of dogs, small, large, all kinds of dogs. And it's weird. It's like the dogs are more well-behaved than American dogs. I might get in trouble for saying that. This is why I say that. So as I see people walking their dogs, dogs are, they're happy and they're jumping on people. People will pause to stop and talk to someone, and the dog is just kind of like chilling, like, hey, I see you, but like, anywhere in America where you see people walking their dogs, a lot of times you see the dogs pulling the person, they're just, the dog's leading the way, the dog's jumping on stuff. They're pulling the dog away from the dog trying to do something else. These dogs are like trained. There were a few times I saw them not on a leash. I think they're supposed to be on a leash, but they're just trotting along, like the promenade when I was in Cagnes-sur-Mer, and watching people walk along the promenade, and people had their dogs. So people were on skateboards, scooters, skates, unicycles, all kinds of stuff. People walking up and down this promenade, and people walking their dogs, and the dogs are just kind of like running along with their master. No, you don't see dogs chasing after people or stopping because somebody's sitting in the bench eating something. I don't know. It's just interesting. I guess they're used to it. You'll see dogs in cafes inside. They'll bring them in at restaurants. I've seen them. There was a cafe that I would frequent that was down the street from me, and I would just be sitting there watching as people came in. So they would come in along the bar and say what they wanted. They'd have their dog. The dog's just in line with everybody else. I'm thinking about my dogs. They'd probably be up like trying to look through the sneeze guard, like, what's the food up there? I smell it. I smell it as people walking by, sniffing them and trying to get away and crawl under the table. These dogs are well behaved. It's just the weirdest thing. So people are out with their dogs, and you'll see them in stores, in malls. People are in malls with their dogs, restaurants. Yep. I mean, the dog's not sitting at the table, but they'll be laying next to the table with their owner. So the dogs are everywhere, and people love their dogs. So that's a thing. That's a thing in France. These things are a thing in France. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Toilets. So let's say you're toilets, salle de bain. If you're out in public, say you're at a mall or at some public function, and there are toilets there, make sure you have change because they charge. You know how in the US, if there's a toilet in the mall, likely you just go in, use the bathroom, and you're out. Here, you have to pay. Sometimes there's a place at the door that you have to pay, or before you can even open the stall, you have to pay, and it's about €1. They have portable toilets in the parks. It's like this giant cylindrical, I guess it's a building, standalone. They'll be standing somewhere, but they're typically round from the ones that I've seen. And you go up to it and you put your euro in, and the door slides open, and then you go in and you do your thing. And it's usually like let's say it's a full bathroom. It's not like a porta potty. It's bigger than that. They can fit more than one toilet in some of these. But there's a toilet, there's a sink, and there's all this space, and you go, but you have to pay. You have to pay. There's no like free public toilets in the park. So if you have to go to the bathroom, make sure you have change or you might have to hold it until you get home. The other thing is this, I want to say this was more in Paris, and maybe I didn't go to public bathrooms when I was in the south of France, but Paris definitely. Their public toilets are like, ooh, they're like gross. You think if you're paying for it, it would be more clean, but no, it's nasty. I guess that's a big city thing. I don't know. But anyway, these things are a thing in France. If you have to go to a bathroom in public, make sure you have some change because you're likely going to have to pay for it. All right. Let's see. Okay, so here's another one. The French say, when you think of France, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? You'll probably say the Eiffel Tower or baguettes, bread, sticking at people walking with the bag and the baguette, the bread sticking out of it, wine, Arc de Triomphe, maybe, croissants, of course, but you also might think, ooh la la. Ooh la la. If I say ooh la la, you think France, right? I used to think it was just a stereotype, a thing that, ooh, France, ooh la la, fancy schmancy, whatever. It turns out the French actually say that. It's more of it's like an utterance of, I don't know, it's an utterance of, like not, maybe frustration. And it's more of a, oh la la, oh la 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 la. So let's say, for instance, you're in an Uber and he's complaining about the traffic and he's like, oh, speaking in French, and he's like, oh la 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 la, oh la 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 la. Or you're with someone and say they're thinking or trying to figure something out, and you might hear them say, oh la 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 la. Or, this is some bull, whatever. And they might say, oh la 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 la, oh la la. So it's a thing. It's a thing that the French say, oh la la. It's a thing. These things are a thing in France. Let's see, what else? What else is on my list? Um, okay, scooters. Okay, so a lot of places in France are walkable. Definitely the places that I've been, because I don't like to drive in foreign places. So I've gone to places where you can get around by walking, or you can easily get to public transportation, whether it's a bus or a tram or train or whatever. So the thing you'll have to get used to is scooters, and not just seeing them, but the sound of scooters on the street. It's like giant mosquitoes. It was really crazy when I stayed in Cagnes-sur-Mer. The Airbnb I had was right on the street and across the street from the beach, so there was a lot of traffic going back and forth, and you constantly were hearing these scooters. And when I say scooter, I'm not talking about just the, you're holding on to the scooter and there's this narrow place where you put your feet. I'm not talking about the kick scooters. There are a lot of those too, but they don't make the noise. I'm talking about the Vespas. I think we call them Vespas. Not a moped, but not a motorcycle. Scooters, and it's just this loud, annoying sound. I guess you get used to it over time, but oh my God, it can be annoying as hell. Like if you're trying to sleep and you're hearing these things all night, all day, every day, all the time. So it's a big deal. The other thing is that a lot of deliveries are done on these scooters. Hopefully I have a picture I can post, but they'll have this thing on their backs. It's like a big box, and they'll have it on their back, and then they're on the scooter, and all their goodies are in that big thing that's like a trunk on their back, and they're making these deliveries, whether it's Uber or some other food delivery places. Some restaurants have their own delivery service. But yeah, these guys and gals have these backpack like things that's almost like it's like an oven. It's a big box on their backs, and the food and whatever they're delivering is on there. I've seen some of them do it on bikes too. I've had a few things delivered on bikes, and they had the same get up, but largely on scooters. So they're on scooters, food on their back, zipping around town, and it's more proficient than a car. You can get around traffic. You can drive, through these narrow roads that are rampant throughout France. So that's a thing. Scooters are a big thing here. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Oh, tacos. So let's talk food. If you're in France and you say, I want tacos, you need to be clear, because there are French tacos, and then there are the tacos we think of, like Mexican tacos or Taco Bell Americanized tacos. The tortilla, whether it's crunchy or soft tortilla, and meat, cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, onions, whatever, like taco. No, a French taco is like, I went to this place. I didn't know this. I went to a place in France called O Tacos. It turns out it's a franchise, because I've seen them in other places, but it's called O apostrophe tacos. So I'm like, I get a taco. So I went and I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, what is that? That's not a taco. It is a taco. It's a French taco, but they just call them tacos. So yeah, so it's like a pocket. It's not quite it's like a grilled hot pocket, kind of. It's like, I know I have a picture, so I'm gonna show you a picture when we talk about it. And you can pick, 1, 2, or 3 meats that go inside this. So it's typically 1, 2, or 3 meats, cheese, some kind of sauce. I think you can pick the sauce that goes in there, and basically it's wrapped up in like a tortilla-like thing, and it's grilled, and then you get it and served with fries, and it's a nice size. It's about that big. Yeah, rectangular shape and it's about that big. So I've had it a couple of times and I mean it's good. I mean, it's good. But it's not, if you got your mouth fixed for a taco, it's not a taco. It's not a taco. So yeah, so I thought that'd be interesting. You get a kick out of that. So let's see, what else can I tell you? Um, we'll stick with food for a minute. I noticed, and other folks that have been to France, you might correct me, but I can't find like bacon. Like when we talk about bacon, you usually buy it in the strips, the long strips of bacon, and then you peel it. And you've got this. That's how we're used to seeing it. When I've seen bacon in the stores, the closest I've seen to that, it's more like if you know what prosciutto is, and often prosciutto is in these strips, but they're about that wide. Um, and it doesn't fry up like bacon, like the bacon we're used to. So I don't know if they cut it from a different part of the pig or what, but it'll say bacon on it, and it's like that's not bacon. Or some things that you purchase, and it'll say it has bacon in it, and it's like chopped little chunks of pork. It's not. I don't know. It's not bacon when we think of bacon. And I haven't figured out yet if it's a different part of the pig or what. But yeah, when you think bacon and go to the store and get bacon, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the bacon that we're used to in our stores in the U.S. So that was interesting. Is that the only other food thing I had? Yeah. Okay. The other thing, and I think this is probably number 10, is music. So, you guys, I have been in several public places where I've heard American music playing. In the car, in Uber cars too, from a radio station or something. And I'll hear American music playing, and it's not the clean version, it's the explicit version. So they're like, dropping F bombs and cursing. And I'm not talking about just raps. I'm talking, there was a song by Justin Bieber, and he was dropping F bomb in some of his lyrics. And I'm sitting there like, they know this is a bad word, right? I was in a cafe in Paris a couple of weeks ago, and I was just sitting. I was waiting on a friend, and this music was playing, and all of a sudden, WAP from Cardi B and what's her name came on. Now I had heard, when it came out, everybody was talking about WAP and all the jokes and all this other stuff, but I never really heard the song. I know what it stands for, but I never really heard the song. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, ooh, I was I was like sitting there, and the guy that it was a really small cafe. It was like a bar slash cafe, and the guy had stepped outside to smoke. So I was really in there by myself, and this music was playing, and I'm just sitting there like, do they know? They're listening to these American songs. Do they realize what they're saying? It was weird. I don't bizarre. I don't know what I don't know what to explain it, but it was just kind of like, I'm clutching my pearls like, oh my gosh, I this stuff. You hear this music, and you might hear it in public in the U.S., but you would hear the clean version, or the words would be bleeped out or smudged out or something. But no, I've been in cafes, restaurants, in the backs of Ubers. Um, I'm not so sure that they always know what they're listening to. Uh, I want to say I'm, yeah, no, we'll stick with France. Yeah, I find that interesting. Because I'm thinking someone should know. Some of these bad words, they translate, So if you say drop the F bomb in the US, I think France knows that's a bad word. Uh, same with some of the other ones. Just kind of, I don't know. It was surprising to me. So yeah, so that's the thing. So that was my list of these things are a thing in France. So yeah, I hopefully you found that interesting. These are some things that I just found to be interesting, and I noticed in France, and I wanted to share them with you, let you know what's happening out there. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. You don't have to smash the button. You don't have to mash it. You can just click it if you want. That'd be nice and appreciated. So yeah, until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.